Hello and welcome to Living Outside the Box, a podcast that is associated with Outside the Box Consulting. I'm Ben Bowman, your host, and I am excited to be with you again today. In today's podcast, we're going to talk about mission. In the last podcast, we talked about vision. And vision and mission are two words that often go together when we talk about the organizational structure of a company or a church or a school. Mission and vision statements are things that are developed to help guide the focus and the efforts of any organization. That's why those two words are inevitably linked in any kind of discussion when we talk about the structure or the makeup of an organization. Mission is the focus of the day-to-day work of the organization. So last time we talked about vision, and we talked about how vision, you can see the day-to-day work, but you also see the broader picture. Just like I shared about going to the basketball games, wearing the binoculars, you can see the details of the game, the calls of the refs, where there's a foul. But when you take the binoculars away, you can see the crowd, you can see the band, you can see the announcers and whatnot in the arena. It gives you that broader perspective of everything else that's happening around that basketball game. Mission is that detailed work, that intricate work of the basketball game itself, what you see through the binoculars. I remember when I started as a missionary educator back in 2010. Someone said to me in one of the churches that I was speaking in that I was going on mission. And I remember thinking, that's a strange way to put that, to be going on mission. Normally you say you're going to be a missionary or you're doing a mission, but you're not going on mission. That was a little bit foreign to me to hear it said that way. But over time, I've come to understand the depth of putting it that way, of saying that you're on mission. This became more clear to me and more powerful as I went through my doctoral program. There may be some of you that have written master's theses or doctoral dissertations listening to this today. And if you have, you understand when I say that writing is very intricate and organized. The word alignment is the word that guides all academic writing. Everything has to be connected, aligned from start to finish. If you phrase something one way in chapter 1 of your dissertation, it needs to be phrased the same way in every subsequent chapter. That's alignment. You can't play with the nuance of language as you write a dissertation or a thesis. It has to be said the same way each time, every time. So when I started my doctoral writing back in 2022, I'm someone that likes to phrase things creatively, and I like to be able to communicate in ways that grab people's attention or holds the attention of the reader. And I quickly learned that I couldn't do that as a doctoral student. I had to be consistent in the way I presented my writing. It all had to be aligned. I fought this for the longest time because it just in my makeup didn't seem right. And I'd never had to write like that before. I never had to make sure that every phrase was completely aligned, that every thought and idea was aligned from start to finish. As the doctoral writing process unfolded, though, I began to appreciate the alignment of these thoughts because I didn't have to think about how I was going to present things. I just wrote them the way that they were presented from the very beginning. I didn't have to come up with nuances or creative ways of rewording or rephrasing things so that it would capture the attention of the reader. I was presenting facts. I was presenting something the same way so that it connected every dot throughout the writing. I had a conversation with one of the members of my committee about this, and she said that it was important to align the writing because you're not creating new ways to grab people's attention like I wanted to, but by aligning the writing, you were reinforcing the importance of what you were saying. You were reinforcing the idea and helping them follow that idea all the way through this 300-page document that I wrote for my doctoral work. That is the same essence of what a mission statement or the mission of an organization does. Now, vision gives that broad look at things of we're going to be doing these things and looking at these things and moving in this direction. But the mission statement hones in on exactly what an organization is doing. And any outside the box leader has a mission statement for their own life. So mission statements don't just exist for organizations, they exist for us as well. Mission statements help guide, they help align each and everything that we do throughout our days in leadership. It is a guiding statement that aligns every part of what you do, from the way that we interact with our neighbors and friends, the way that we interact with coworkers and those who we lead. It helps to align our actions, our thoughts, and our deeds as leaders, thereby making us inspirational and motivational to those who follow us. It helps us build trust because we're consistent. We're the same each and every day because we're being guided by this mission statement that is our mission statement in life. My personal mission statement is to empower people to understand their abilities and live outside the box as God created them to live. That's my mission statement, to empower people to understand what it's like to live outside the box. So that mission statement that I have guides everything that I do. The way that I interact with individuals in my home group, for instance, or with people that I have mentored in my life. Everything that I say, everything that I do in those relationships should be about that empowerment, should be about helping those individuals understand that they may be in this spot, but God wants to move them here, and He has a plan to do that. My mission statement is simple. It's easy to remember, and it is what everything in my life aligns to. Now, mission statements can change because on a Friday night, there may be a basketball game at Rupp Arena, but on Saturday, it may be Disney on Ice. And then on Sunday, it might be a Keith Urban concert. All of those things are different. And so the mission of what Rupp Arena is used for has to change. What you see through the binoculars, if you're sitting there, may change from time to time. Now, that doesn't mean that I have 14 different mission statements because each day I'm doing something different. No. It just means that in different seasons of my life, the mission that God has given me has been a little bit different. Now, so far, the thread that runs through them all is that God has given me the mission to help others see their potential. That's kind of the underlying heartbeat of the mission that God has given me. And so with that, things may develop. I may be in a different location. I was on the mission field for a while. Now I'm in the United States. I was teaching for a while. Now I'm leading a consulting service. And so the mission that I have as a leader is adjusted to meet the context of where I'm leading. Nevertheless, I have a guiding mission statement, and everything that I do each and every day, from emails written to podcasts recorded to interactions with clients, all of that is aligned around that mission to empower others to live outside the box as God made them to live. Every word, every deed, every interaction, I hope and pray, brings the other person a little bit closer to taking that step outside the box. Outside the box leaders have mission statements. They have a mission. They are on mission. To be on mission means that you have a clear goal. You have a purpose. When that person said that to me 15 years ago, that I was going on mission, I didn't think that that was the right way to say that, and now I see the beauty of it. When we go and do, whether we're missionaries, whether we're CEOs or heads of departments or the head of our household, we're on mission. We have a responsibility to live into the mission that we have for that season of life, to understand what it is that we're made to do, and to do everything to the very best of our ability in alignment with that mission. When people start doing multiple things and having multiple missions, and they work on this project over here and they work on this project over here, and they're not really the same, that's when we experience burnout. That's when we see leaders crash and burn, because their focus is split, because they're working on multiple things that don't connect, or they've not learned how to connect them, how to align them. But when everything we do is aligned, though we may be busy, though there may be stressful times, the work of a leader is made much, much easier, because we know that we are on mission and we know what that mission is. Today, I want to encourage you to live on mission, to understand that you have a mission statement in you, that you have a purpose. If you've never thought about your mission, what your purpose is, what that detailed work is that you are to be doing and to be doing well as a leader. I pray that you'll sit down and write out your thoughts and come up with a mission statement. When you do that, start working on aligning everything in your life to that mission statement. The way that you interact with your spouse or children, the way that you serve at your church, the way that you approach the work that you do in your office, the way that you engage your colleagues, the way that you lead at home, in church, and at work. I am excited to journey with you as you become an outside the box leader and as you inspire other people to take that step and live outside the box on mission. I look forward to journeying with you more. Remember that I care about you, I'm here for you, and you can live and lead on mission outside the box.